Welcome. This is lesson 5.1 and 5.6, writing linear equations in slope-intercept and in standard form. The first thing we're going to do is review slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b, where the slope is m and the y-intercept is b. So if you want to find or write the equation in slope-intercept form, sometimes you'll be given the slope and the y-intercept. For example, if I said the slope is -2 and the y-intercept is 5, that would be y equals -2x plus 5. If I said the slope was 0 and the y-intercept was -7, that would be y equals 0x minus 7, which could be rewritten as just y equals -7. If I said the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is 0, that could be y equals 1x plus 0, or y equals x. The next element is we're going to write the equation of a line from a graph. So, still the same basic concept. We need to be able to find the slope and the y-intercept. So, the y-intercept is the point where this line crosses the y-axis. The point where this line will cross the y-axis is at 0, -4. So this is our y-intercept. The slope is how you can get from point to point. So to get from this point to this point, I'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2. So the slope would be 4 over 2, which is 2. So if I was writing the equation of a line, because the slope is 2, it would be y equals 2x plus b, which is -4. So I'm actually going to write that as -4. You could also write y equals 2x plus -4. I'm just going to choose to write y equals 2x minus 4. Another example here, we have our 2 points. This is our y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. So I know the y-intercept is 7. To get from here to the next point, realize it's a scale of 2, so that's why we're in between. So I'm actually going up 2 and over 1. So y equals 2x plus 7. 2 is our slope and 7 is our y-intercept. In our example 6, you can see the y-intercept is 1. And to get the slope, we're going to come down 1, 2, 3, over 2. So if I was writing this equation, it would be y equals -3 halves x, because the slope is -3 over 2, plus 1. Now you could also have a word problem with that. So it says, suppose the bike rentals cost $4 plus $1.50 per hour. Write an equation to model the total cost y of renting a bike for x hours. Then use the equation to find the cost of renting a bike for 12 hours. So this equation would be y equals, we have to figure out which one is the slope, which is the rate of change. It's changing $1.50 per hour. Y equals 1.5x plus 4, the original cost. So that's the equation of the line. Now we're going to use that to figure out what it would cost for 12 hours. So y would equal 1.5, and I'm plugging in 12 for x, plus 4. 1.5 times 12 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So it would cost $22. The next element we have is called standard form. Standard form is just another way of writing the equation of a line. Standard form is in the equation ax plus by equals c, where a is a positive integer and b and c are integers as well. So what that means to us is that we can have or the a value, or the first term, has to be positive, and we can have no fractions or decimals. So if that happens, we're just going to have to clear them out of an equation. If that doesn't happen, we just take what's there and write it in what's called standard form. So if you see our first example, y equals negative 7x plus 3. To put this in standard form, I would add 7x to the other side. 7x plus y equals 3. The first term is positive. There are no fractions or decimals, so 7x plus y equals 3 is in standard form. Another example has a slope with a negative value, so y equals negative 2/7 x minus 4. To put this in standard form, I would have to move x over, so add 2/7 x to the other side. So 2/7 x plus y equals negative 4. Problem here is that I cannot have a fraction at all. To get rid of this fraction, I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 7, because that will clear out the one fraction that I have. 7 times 2/7 x will give me 2x. 7 times y will give me 7y. And 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. That's in standard form. First term is positive, and there are no fractions or decimals, so everything's good for standard form there. It's possible that you deal with a decimal. Y equals 0.2x plus 4. If you have this, you can still move x, so you would subtract 0.2x over. This becomes negative 0.2x plus y equals 4. I need to get rid of this decimal. There's actually two numbers that will get rid of the decimal. 5 would get rid of it, but most common is that people will multiply by 10. Now, 10 will get rid of the decimal, but it won't turn this first number into a positive. So I'm actually, instead of multiplying by positive 10, I'm going to make it negative 10 to get this first term to be positive as well. So this would be 2x minus 10y, negative 10 times y, equals negative 40, negative 10 times 4. That is in standard form, although that can be reduced by a factor of 2, because you can divide everything by 2 if you want it. So another way of writing this is x minus 5y equals negative 20. And then really the worst case scenario in standard form is if you have two fractions, which you'll see here. Y equals negative 3/4 x minus 7/8. We still have to move x to the other side, so we would add 3/4 x to the other side. This becomes 3/4 x plus y equals negative 7/8. Now I have two fractions. When you have two fractions, you look at your denominators, 4 and 8. What I need to do is see what is the least common denominator of 4 and 8. The least common denominator of 4 and 8 is 8, because I can turn 4 into 8, and 8 I can leave as 8. Because 8 is my LCD, I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 8. 8 times 3/4 is 6, so that's 6x. 8 times y would be 8y. And 8 times negative 7/8 would be negative 7. And that's the standard form of that line. So again, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a has to be positive, and all the terms, there can be no fractions or decimals.